So what I'm going to do today, I've added a new feature to my Substack. I don't know if it shows up there, but I guess there's this buy me a coffee feature. So I'm calling it buy me a pencil, buy me an art supply. So whatever that means. I've been working on this giant floral for I think a month now. And it's all been acrylics up to this point. So today I am going to be adding uh, uh thank you, Robert. Thank you, Robert, for joining in across the miles. Um so I was talking to my friend Donna Fresca about this yesterday. Hi, Margaret Williams. Um and she had some insights that, or she had some messages that I wouldn't be painting this the same as other paintings. And what's really interesting is I had that thought before she mentioned it. So, so I just love it when those synchronicities happen. So I was looking at this painting yesterday and it has these turquoise circles in them. It has features in them in it that make it more kind of like graffiti like, more kind of pop art like. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to draw, and I'm going to take drawing materials. I'm going to take oil-based paint sticks, which that whole, hey, you weren't up for that, were you? You weren't expecting that. So I have this whole tray of oil-based drawing, oil sticks, oil paints. And because this is all water-based, you can put oil-based on top of water-based media. So I'm going to do that today. Gosh, I'm really sorry my phone came crashing down. I'm sure that was not fun for you guys. Wasn't fun for me either. But until I can have a whole film crew here, this is what we're dealing with. So I'm going to take these. I'm going to draw today. I'm going to be drawing on this, but the drawing materials are super fluid because they're oil sticks. So one more adjustment of the camera. I know Margaret feels my pain when these kinds of things happen. And if you have questions, put them in the chat and I will see, because I'm just running this from my phone. Oh, look at here. This is how I got smart today. I have it on my computer too. Okay. So if you have anything in the chat, you can write it in the chat and I will be able to see them better there. And we'll just go. One thing so you can hear me better. Are these. Okay, kids. So I had so I'm just going to talk while I work because you don't need to watch me. You didn't log in to watch me just stand and talk. I can paint and talk. And again, this isn't painting. What I'm using are oil sticks, oil pastels. And I've got some of these. I'm always needing extra white, but I love these tools because they are like butter. These are sheave oil sticks. They're my favorite oil stick. If you like to paint, but you like to control it with your hands with more of a drawing application, these are fantastic. So I might be drawing with these today, but they thin. Well, that's the best way to say it. They thin with paint thinner. So you can't use water with these. So I'm going to do some drawing. I've got these beautiful Shiva oil sticks, my favorite oil sticks to use. And then I have a variety of oil pastels from Faber-Castells. Those are great. These are all oil-based sticks. I have some student grade Pentels. Those are great. And I have these energies, which I bought in bulk because I like these colors. But if you love art supplies, they come in these boxes of 6, 7, 16. But you go through them pretty quickly. But they have good pigment quality. And that is always the challenge of the artist, is to get good pigment, beautiful pigment, without breaking the bank. I think people don't know how expensive good materials are expensive, and you get what you pay for. Another thing that I really like are these semi-jumbo ones. I should have never put them in this bag. This is my last bit on supplies. Semi-jumbos. They're a little waxier. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for everyone who's joined so far. Again, if you have questions, put them in the chat and I'll try to answer them. So what I'm going to approach is from the top to the bottom. I'm going to do this until 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 1 hour. So process to explain it to you doesn't have to be daunting, but sometimes don't know where to start. So I sit and I stare at the painting until I get a definitive message about what wants to happen next. And so I'm getting a pretty strong message, twofold. One is this wants to change, and then these want to be outlined. So that's what we'll start. We'll start there. The issue with these sticks is you don't get exactly the color you want because you have to work with the color that's in the stick. So, but the nice thing about oil is that you can blend them together again with a paint thinner. And because today is October 31st, the last day of October, it is beautiful in Florida today, South Florida. It is high of 71 degrees. So I can have the windows open and get air through here. Enough of that. Laurie, just get to work. I'm looking for a dark, dark purple. And I have a nice dark metallic blue here. And I don't know if these are going to work, but hopefully you'll get to see some changes. I kept getting a message that, when I say message, I mean the paint gods, whatever the paint gods send me messages about that I'm going to approach these as more outlines. And I think the outlines are probably going to represent like the energies or the auras of the plants. That's kind of how I see them. I saw them today. If you're also a painter and you're watching this, or an artist, I always am interested in hearing about how you experience how do your compositions come up? Do you have them all pre-planned, or do you just kinda do the intuitive thing? And the intuitive thing is more the way I like to work. If I have to look at something, which is how this painting started, was I was kinda working off of a drawing, it shuts me down. It shuts down the flow, it's stop, it's constantly editing, and, I don't like to work that way. I don't think some people love to work that way, but the problem for me is if you're constantly editing while you go, then you can't let spirit come through you. How else can I say that? You can't let the divine, you can't let this thing that we all know, but we don't understand. Many of us don't understand. I don't understand. I'm always trying to understand it. If we are constantly editing our creative work, at least the initial laydown, you don't get into any flow. So you have to work sans editing, I believe, to get to the meat of the beauty of creation. If that's if you're writing poetry, if you're writing a screenplay, if you're writing a story. Of course, editing has its place in time, but for the most part, if you edit while you go, you just kill it. You kill it every single time. So, all right. Robert, could you be a sweetheart if you're on the chat and send Ralph David a message that I am streaming? I don't know if Robert's listening, but maybe he is. Okay. So, so what I like about these sticks is you can get the color down. And what this is what I'll be doing today. I need better gloves. Bought a bunch of gloves 2021 because, you know, 2020, 21, thought the world supply of everything was going to dry up and you couldn't get gloves anywhere. So I bought some of these other gloves and they are shit. They really suck. So I might actually go downstairs and get a pair of like industrial gloves. I mean, you can't do anything with these. What a real rip off these were. But hey, let's not get stuck in that. The other thing I like to do as far as recycling, didn't talk about that, but I use old jeans or old clothes or and you can use these as rags. So what I like to do with these instead of gloves is you can come back and just blend by rubbing the color out. I like to do this with my hands and my fingers as opposed to brushes, because it really, you get a better connection with the painting. And you don't really want to do this with your hands not protected. With these pigments, I see younger artists, they start to paint and they post pictures of their hands covered in paint. And makes for a really cool photo. And you feel like, you know, when my artist is in the thick of it, look, their hands are covered in paint. And it's not a safe long-term practice if you are interested in paint, you're interested in art and making art, you have to protect yourself from some of the materials that you choose to use. So, um, even though these are oil sticks with beautiful pigments in them, you still don't want the metallic, sorry, not metallic. There's heavy metals in some of these pigments, and you don't want your skin, your biggest organ, you don't want your skin absorbing the heavy metals in the pigments. So you just have to protect yourself. I mean, it's just the smart thing to do. Um, so if you're painting, and you're painting with your hands and your fingers, which is a wonderful way to work. It's not childlike. Well, it can be childlike. Childlike in the best way possible. Um, just want to be smart about it. And I think I might have said this in another live painting session, but yeah, see, that's not, I shouldn't be doing that. I really should get another layer, protective layer between my hands and the pigment. Um, so I was taking this live painting, a figure painting class with models about 15 years ago. And it was in Denver. And I was in this class. And um, there was probably 20 people in the class or so. So there was a model and there was an instructor walking around. And I was working on, I don't know what segment of the painting was, but I had my brush. Here's Marcello. Hi, buddy. Oh, I had a brush that I had been working with, and I put the brush in my mouth to hold it because I was probably grabbing a palette or something. And the instructor came by and she berated me and she said, Laurie, get that brush out of your mouth. And I didn't even think about it. I said, what do you mean? I'm just holding it for a second. She said, do you see the tip of your brush there? The tip of your wooden brush had a bunch of dried cake paint on it. I didn't even think about it. She's like, you're putting that in your mouth. And that means you can be ingesting remnants of that. She said, you got to stop that right now. And she had just told me the story of one of her students who had gone to the hospital for cadmium poisoning because I believe the student was doing a lot of painting and exposing her skin to cadmium. I don't know what kind of could have been cadmium yellow, cadmium red, or cadmium. So after that, it was like, oh, yeah, that's not. Nobody wants to go to the hospital because they're making paint. They're making a painting. And so after that, if you see any friends of yours painting without protection, please encourage them to get a barrier between their skin and their supplies. What do you think, buddy? You're my painting assistant. I need more blue over here, don't I? Okay, until I find one of those orange industrial gloves. Let me use some of these. These were called dentist office gloves. I don't know what dentist office would even use these. Okay. This, oh, thanks, Robert. You guys have any questions? Lay them out. So there's my safety talk for today. To your skin and your breathing. So I know another artist who he used to paint with oil paints and he had to stop because I think he was developing an allergy to them. And I'm grateful I didn't start using oil paints until really a couple of years ago. And I was thinking, I'll just stay oil painting for when I retire from painting. And but I started, I don't know, always during COVID. That's what was going on. I didn't have students. My studio, my teaching painting studio in Sarasota was closed. I closed it because nobody was coming, and it was a big financial drain in August of 2020. So I was like, well, why don't you use this time to practice oil painting? And it's another one of my I'm grateful for COVID because it brought me to oil painting. So another thing besides using my hands and my fingers, ooh, that's really nice. Look at that. It's like electric. Um, COVID, it was like, well, I was waiting until I retired to oil paint. Okay. Well, then COVID probably brought kind of reality and or life expectancy or whatever. World scare. We're all scared. We're all scared of dying. We're all scared of the unknown. We're all pissed at the government. We're all pissed at everybody. Fine. You might as well oil paint, Lori. The end of the world's coming. So that's how that all started. You think you'd go through school. If you're going to art school, you'd think they would have an oil painting class. And at Wisconsin, they didn't. They had painting classes, but they didn't have oil painting class. So I never learned. I really didn't learn to paint in college either. I took ceramics classes. My parents were horrified. Like, what the hell are you going to do with a ceramics degree? So many. Unless you want to go into be a pot, make pots and cups and bowls and ceramic sculptures. The problem with ceramics, if you would want to say it's a problem, is that once you fire it, it's forever. It's forever. And there's a lot of really bad clay art that's made, only in the sense of it's not maybe functional nor nice to look at. And, it's almost more forever than plastics, if you think about it. So then I was like, I don't know if I want to make forever objects unless they're whatever, perfect. I don't know. So I kind of got turned off of ceramics and I basically taught myself how to paint. I think I took 2 painting classes and at school, and they really didn't teach me jack. If you're interested in learning about painting, you can leave me a message and we can talk about it. I can help you learn how to paint. I can also help you get over your fear of mark making. And you don't really need to fear the unknown. Just gotta jump into it. Every time I paint, it's in a you get in the flow zone and I'm like, session's already almost halfway over and I'm just getting started. Okay, so this is how I like to work with these oil sticks. I can see it's getting pretty vibrant. Thank you, Jill Jacobs, Alan, Leela, Layla, Margaret. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for bothering. That's my latest thing. Thank you for bothering to know me in a world where we are very different people, very different opinions. We don't have to fear each other. We really don't. Don't have to be angry with each other. We really don't. That's just our ego getting in the way. I'm really working on that. And I think everybody's tired of hearing how angry everybody is and how different everybody is. I really don't think we're that different people. I don't think we need to be told that we're different. I mean, of course, we all have differences. Everybody has a difference. It's the unique thing about being human beings until we're being cloned. I want to go down that rabbit hole. But unique human beings, we all have our differences. So I think if we're just kind to each other, that's fine. Don't have to agree on everything. You don't even have to necessarily like me. But you can respect my differences, and I will respect your differences. And I will not tell you what to do with your time or your energy. But if you want to share some of that with me, I'll be really appreciated to get to know you. I've gotten to know a handful of people on Substack, a really cool handful of people that I would not have known without that platform. So I am a big Substack fan. I think it's the future. Any social media. I really tire of all the other forms of social media. Just want to get to something that's real people and not being tried to be sold this, that, or the other every 3 seconds. Questions? No questions. I don't know what this is doing. Maybe that's working. Okay, guys. So I've laid the first half hour here. I've just laid some color down with these oil sticks and oil pastels. Trying to get these certain areas to really pop. And now this area is problematic. Not problematic. I just don't know what to do with this here. This might not. These great little circles in here. So today's Halloween. Happy Halloween if you're one of those people who loves Halloween. I used to love Halloween when I was little. But I wrote this article yesterday about not really celebrating any holidays. People will ask us that. What are you doing for Christmas? What are you doing for New Year's? What are you doing for the holidays? And my simple answer is the same thing we do every day. We are not holiday people because I think life is too short to save all of your celebrating for one day a year. So we're a household that does every day's a holiday, and we don't do the commercial stuff. Now, if you love that holiday stuff and you love decorating and you love the parties, I think that's fantastic. But if you feel pressured during the holiday season to perform, you feel pressure. If you're the kind of person who feels pressure, and the holidays have become, or the holidays have always been, or the holidays create uh, the opposite feeling of celebration in your family or in your body, or then don't do it. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. You're driving your own bus. And unless you're incarcerated, you're driving your own bus. You can make your own decisions. And if your family is not a healthy way to spend your time, spending time with family, you find every year is exhausting and it's not healthy for you, and you come out of the holidays exhausted and unhappy and hungover or whatever, then if you know that going into the holidays, then there's enough time now to make some alternate plans or maybe make no plans and take care of you this holiday season. And so when so and so relative says, "Hey, aren't you coming for this? Or aren't you doing that? Or aren't you doing this?" And you're like, "I don't want to go. I don't want to go. You know what? Just drop the guilt and take care of you and make some plans that make you happy and that fill you with joy." And forever, my family, we would drive 15 hours cross country, sometimes twice, sometimes Thanksgiving and again at Christmas with children, 2 dogs, 2 kids, staying in crappy hotels, motels, and not staying sailing roadside because we had to do this trip, and it was exhausting, and I just caved, and I said, "Okay, let's do it, let's do it." And it was just not what I wanted to do. I guess that's what your 30s are for, learning what you do and you don't wanna do. And I think we cave a lot more when we're younger because we don't know any better, and we're driven by all the shoulds. And then when you get to be in your 50s, some people are lucky to figure it out in their 40s. Some people don't ever figure it out. But if there's something you don't wanna do in life and isn't really genuinely necessary, then don't effing do it. Okay, enough of that. So now, what I'm doing is I'm taking, um hi, guys. Vedic Soul, Karen C., thank you for joining. I am, this is not blue cheese stuffed olives. This is, a Gamsol paint thinner. So now I'm taking a paint thinner and I'm going over what I have drawn here, and it allows for a nice blending of the oil stick on top of the paint base that I already had. Mm, I'm really enjoying that. Thank you guys for joining me on my kind of new venture here. I never like making the same painting twice. It's like once you've already done it, I don't see a need to do that again. And I'm finding I'm like that with a lot of things. Like I've already done it. It's like not the been there, done that because it is that, but um, I don't, it's not what I want to say about it. There's so much more to learn. It's like we're not given enough time to learn all the things we can if we're not paying attention anyway. So, um, so what I had here, if you're new to watching this, I had a big floral painting. It's still a big floral painting, and I think it's probably going to stay a big floral painting. I wasn't sure if I was going to let it become something, mm, let it become something super abstract. I mean, these flowers are going to be abstract, but so it was acrylic base, which is all water-based paint. And that was what I had under here, painting with spatulas that first time. And today I've kind of progressed. Now I'm using oil. And like also it was important to wait, for me to wait to use the oils because you don't want to use oil in an area that's not well ventilated. And today's really like the first day of nice cool weather. It's just perfect outside, probably 60s in South Florida. You know, we live for winters here. We love the winter. I love the winter. So, and being able to open the windows and the doors means I can use these oil-based paints without asphyxiating. 20 minutes remain in today's session. Hi, Donna Frasca. Thanks for joining. Donna and I had a really nice conversation yesterday. If you don't follow Donna Frasca, I really recommend you do. From color to the cosmos. She's a very interesting and insightful person, and she has got great stories. She's also a painter. We were talking about this painting yesterday, and it is going in a totally different Laurie Maves direction. And I'm not going to be overly focused. I'm just listening to the painting, where it wants to go. If any of you are struggling with maybe, and I don't want, there's a lot of people who like, oh my God, they love the holidays. They can't wait for them. They get time off of work. They get to go visit their families. It's the time And if you're in that kind of situation, God bless you. Think of how fortunate you are to be in that situation. It's not a given, and it's not a given for a lot of people. And if Margaret Williams is still on, I'm not sure if she is. Was listening to her lives the other day. I think she was talking to Dr. Megan, but before Dr. Megan got on, she was talking about Margaret, and you can put that in. I don't know if other people can see the chat, but I know Margaret was going to maybe host an online Thanksgiving meetup or something for people who, if you happen to be alone for the holidays and it's important for you to kind of connect with people, or you miss that, or maybe your family is gone, maybe they're no longer, maybe your family has dissolved, maybe your family is going through a rough patch, or maybe you just don't have family anymore. Margaret, but you're seeking that and you miss it. Margaret was, I think she was organizing a social gathering around the holidays for people who would like to connect. Ooh. The other thing that's great about this way of working is that I love the acrylic for the base of the painting, but I really struggle with using acrylics moving after a certain face because you just can't. Uh, I, I guess you could use the best thing I've seen is to make the blending go slow. Like right now, I'm coming up here to this black. I added this black with an oil stick. Okay, so this will take 24 hours or more to dry. So if I want that pigment, and it was because it's oil based, I can use a paint thinner, which is this jar is that. I can come up and grab some of this oil pastel and I can smooth it. But I also now have black on my brush. I can come back here and manipulate it a lot better. If this was acrylic, all this acrylic, you have to work like so fast. And it's almost like you can't contemplate where the painting wants to go next. The painting doesn't have time to talk to you because the acrylic dries so fast. Even if you use an acrylic retardant, which I have before, and I like that, it still doesn't give you the control. You're kind of like at the mercy of the paint drying times. And and now I like the lunch. I like being able to keep changing my mind. So I go up here, I grab, and that's okay that that's dripping. I go up and I grab a little bit of that Shiva oil stick pigment, and I can bring it here, and I've got blue in my brush, and I can add it here. Almost like giving each of these petals like a halo. It's kind of how I like see it, like an aura, like an energetic vibration. Yeah, I enjoyed our chat too, Miss Frasca. Okay, so this blue is absent here, so let's go grab some more of this. It's okay that it's dripping. Let's bring some of that here. All right. Mhm. My husband and I watched the 1993 movie last night, uh, called True Romance with Christian Slater and Trisha Arquette, and I never realized that that was written by Quentin Tarantino. I guess it was one of his first films that he as a screenwriter, and he sold it. Um, and it was funny because if I had ever, I don't think I ever saw it in 1993. I remember the movie coming out, but my husband's Italian. He likes gangster movies. He loves like The Godfather's like his favorite movie of all time. So someone that he was working with recommended, has he ever seen True Romance? And he hadn't. And so we watched it last night. It's funny that I love the fact that instead of going to Blockbuster, which we all used to do, everyone watching this remembers the days of Blockbuster and VHSs. I think I found it on Prime. So we rented it. We rented a movie for $3.57. I don't know what you can buy for $3.57 anymore. It's definitely not a coffee. If you want to buy me a coffee, though, I added that to I'm adding that to my website. Or whatever, my Substack. But I'm calling it Buy Me a Paint Supply, Buy Me an Art Supply. The painting's this big, it's hard. You got to step back. And when I step back, you to see it's like your own life. You step back and you got to see the bigger picture of what the hell's going on. Don't stay so myopic. Oh, see? That's fun. I think it'd be interesting if I just had a 24/7 channel, live feed of live painting. But yeah, of course, you'd run out of energy. Maybe I'd get tired. Hmm. Thank you, Substack people, for watching today. Um, Earlier this week, it's a bit of a rough patch. So it's nice to come back to my studio. It's my little sanctuary on the planet. And just get lost in creating. And that's my little message for you, I guess, today is that if you are interested in painting yourself, it's not that hard to get started. And who cares if you're doing it right? It doesn't matter. It's the getting lost in what unfolds in front of you, I think, is the real beauty of creating. Now, I realize I'm doing this for an audience, but my my thing, my job is to encourage you to express yourself too. In sketchbook, writing, because we all can do it. And it doesn't have to be, don't worry about the quality of it. Just if you do something from your heart and from a sacred space, how can it be wrong, right? You can't. Okay, this is really different, but I'm liking where it's going. More of the same, I think is gonna be happening here. Um, I just feel like I don't get anywhere in an hour. Just made a little bit of progress here. Um, those need a little more purple. Got this. So again, this is a mix of oil, pastel with, and I'm thinning it with a paint thinner. Doing this as safely as I can with gloves to protect my hands, and the windows are open to let fresh air come through here. All right, guys, it's like 5 to 12. I'm going to turn off the recording here in about 5 minutes. But I think I'm going to keep rolling with maybe a time lapse for the rest of, maybe I really just wanted to work a lot today. I wasn't here. So maybe I'll do that just for the time lapse. You might be able to hear a nail gun. Our neighbors across the way are getting their roof done. Finally, from Hurricane Mitchell last year, it's taken over a year for some people to get their roofs sorted. You know, just insurance company crap. It's like you pay into this insurance. If you're lucky enough to have insurance, you pay into it, you pay into it. You make a claim and it takes forever. It's such a screwed up system. I don't know. I don't know how we get a better system. Are there any, no, you guys have any final questions? Put them in the chat. Thank you guys all for watching. I really appreciate it. It makes me so happy when I look on and maybe I can teach you something new today. Um, well, that's really nice right there. Maybe for the end, I'll bring the camera up here. You can see how that works. I'm going to do that. I've got like just a couple of minutes, so let me just take you guys up here. So again, these are all the different oil sticks and oil supplies. And you're probably like, Laurie, you don't need any more oil space. I actually just need whites. I need a lot of white and I need paint thinner. Okay, so this is look at this. So again, what I have is paint thinner on my brush. And it just pulls that pigment in a really nice way. Here, look at how it blends this. I think this is what I'm focusing my energy on, is I'm going to give each plant like an aura, however that makes sense. But so right now, see how that looks so um, unfinished, but you come back in with the paint thinner and smooth that right out, smoothing it right out, blending it in with everything else. It's okay if I lose this kind of lime green here. I have a lime green stick and I can go right back into, oh, that's nice. Use this and blend it that way. Yeah, that's gonna work. I'll still need to bring this inside will want. She's already yelling at me. This one's already yelling at me. Don't let go of my light green. So I'm gonna bring it back to something like that. Good morning, Reverend Evelyn. Good morning. I was about to shut down soon, but you'll get to see the last couple minutes. I've got a couple minutes left. God bless you for joining today. Yeah, look at there. It's a little finicky, but you have the longevity of blending, which you don't have with acrylic. You have to work so fast. And this, I'll be able to blend this all day here. So even when I hang up with you guys, I think I'm just gonna do a time lapse. Oh, that's nice. And record the rest of this as it rolls out today and see where it takes me. I'll tell you right now, this has already taken me, this painting. Because of this painting, I get to hang out with you guys. Oh, well, Evelyn, you're going to have to join me in painting sometime. I can get in a creative zone. But I have a lot of practice. I have a lot of practice getting in a creative zone. And especially if I haven't been painting for a while, and a while for me is like a couple days. So if I don't paint for a couple days, I really start to miss it. But maybe there's a way, Evelyn, we can paint together. That might be fun. Um, okay, this is where we're at today. This is where we're going to end today. Um, thank you guys so much for joining me. Um, maybe I'll do it again over the weekend because now I do feel like I'm in a zone with this, and I know where this is going. In theory, I know where this is going. And yes, please catch the replay. And you know, thank you. You can always send me a message. I'm sorry about planning my live feeds, but it just kind of happens when time is right. So I hope everybody has a safe and beautiful Friday. If you are trick or treating with your kids, your grandkids, hopefully they have a nice, safe, happy Halloween. And if you don't do holidays, I just hope you have a really great Friday. Thank you guys. I really appreciate you. I appreciate you witnessing the process. And maybe I'll see you over the weekend or definitely next week. Okay. Ciao.